Hello everybody and welcome to a new video on X4. And today we're going to be talking about trading. Now, first of all, before you start with your trading, I'd suggest going mining first, so you have a little bit of money behind you, so that when you obviously start your trading, you can do a little bit more with it. Having no money really makes it hard work. You've got to kind of like do one or two things, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, it's slow going. So having a bit of cash behind you makes it a little bit easier. Now, a little side note, this is a replacement video for one that I've done previously. There were some errors I made on it. I do apologize to those who did watch that video, and hopefully this will clarify it a little bit better. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the trading side of things in a bit of a better detail. First of all, we want to talk about manual trading. So first of all, we need a ship. So find yourself a wharf. I do suggest you get yourself a medium ship as opposed to a small ship. However, if you're really struggling for cash, you can get the smaller version. Well, let's go ahead and buy a ship. I'm going to buy myself a medium one, and I'm going to get myself a Vulture Sentinel, and then I'm going to select my load up as a low preset. That's basically that. Well, it's expensive as is, but if you can, give yourself a docking computer Mark II. Makes things a lot easier, trust me. But everything else, I'm going to leave as is. You can squeeze things about here and there if you want to make, it a little bit cheaper. Maybe risk it without having, the pulse turret on it. You can take the pulse turret off and save yourself 37k. Obviously, drop the docking computer off. You can also drop things that aren't mandatory. So all of these here are mandatory. You don't need the targeting software if you don't wish. You can drop it down to a basic scanner if you wish. That saves yourself quite a bit of credits there. You don't need that docking computer, but I do recommend that one. So yeah, so get yourself a ship. Get it added to the shopping cart and confirm your order. It's about as easy as it needs to be. You don't need to overcomplicate building yourself a ship for trading. It's very early game, so you're probably going to struggle to keep it alive anyway over a long period of time. If it does survive, then we'll move on to what we can do with it at a later stage, but for now, it's going to serve our purpose just doing this. So let's wait for that to be built. It was just short a couple of bits to build it, and it'll take a minute to build. Once it's built, we'll get on board, and we'll have a look at how to do manual trading. So there we have it. We have our new trading ship. Now, as we're not assigned to it, we can't just press Shift and D and be teleported to the bridge of it. We've got to physically go over and basically assign ourselves to this ship by being on board when it takes off. So let's go ahead
Sentinel
and head to the cockpit. So we're now kind of attuned to the ship. So let's talk about manual trading. So first of all, we don't need to take command of the ship just yet. We need to figure out what it is we want to trade. So, you get your map here. We'll take all of this off for now. There we go. So, the first thing we want to figure out is what to trade. As you can see here, I've got a good idea of some of the sectors. But you'll notice some of them are slightly darker blue, and some are a vibrant blue. The stations that are a vibrant blue, we're getting updates on trades. So, the more of these you have, by placing satellites down near them, or by just keeping ships in the vicinity, or by revisiting stations, the better idea you're going to have for trading. Obviously, these ones here, we're not going to get any idea of what they want for trading. These ones here, we'll get an update, even though we've not had a ship. We've had a ship in the vicinity early enough to know that there are, various things that these stations are going to accept. So, let's turn on our trade filter. So, we click on this button here, at the top here. You can see it's number 1. We can have trade filters. We'll take off any trade filters we currently have, and we have an idea that this is bought because they've got hardly anything in the availability. So there's the best profit going to be going from these here. These are sold wares, so these are wares that are available to us at a cheap price and high quantity. This isn't necessarily high quantity in terms of that's 7699. That's high quantity compared to what is available to it. So it's a cheaper purchase. So again, a good idea for profitable sales. You see, these are just ridiculous amounts per one. One space weed is going to be 456 credits. So it gives you an idea. Now, you can narrow this down by pressing the trade filter button here. And we want to go, right, well, the likelihood is I'm going to be in this sector here. I want to stay in this sector here. I can see here now there are various things. Green ones are if you've already got a station, or if you jumped ahead with a station, the green ones are ones that you're selling. You can see from here, sold wares, They are cheap. Even though we haven't got much of them, they're the cheapest that are going to be around by far because I've set them to the lowest setting. Graphene, pretty decent. Superfluid coolant, pretty decent. But nobody's buying them. So we want to narrow this down even more. So I'm going to turn around and go, well, actually, let's talk about energy cells, hull parts, and Claytronics. They're the three things for any building. So building stations, ships, they're all going to use some form of this. So I'm going to go ahead for that first. So you can now see that I have my own station buying hull parts and my own station buying energy cells and my own station selling energy cells. So I can already see that actually hull parts and energy cells are not going to get me anywhere in this sector. So let's go back and let's take hull parts off and let's take energy cells off. Let's turn around and go, right, okay, then what about, I don't know, graphene, refined metals. You can see that I've got a station selling refined metals and a station buying, graphene. Station selling graphene and a station buying graphene. So I know now that if I go to here, I just pressed the wrong button, so let's just graphene. There we go. I'll take it off. So if we go here, you'll see that if you hover over it, it'll tell you that that station's selling at 109 credits. And we want to head there. So if we right click and start guidance to object, we know we can head there. And we know that a station is going to be selling over here. It's a high-tech factory. So let's talk about manual trading. So that's the trade filters and how to get them. Let's talk about actually manually trading now. So we're going to get our ship. We're going to undock. Since we have a guidance, we can use an autopilot. So let's autopilot over to the station that is giving us the trade.
Autopilot engaged.
Nice and easy. So let's get on over there and we'll be right back. Okay, so you fancy yourself as a bit of a trader and you want to do manual trading. We've got over to where we know we can purchase some good, profitable
Autopilot
trade.
Disengaged.
We now need to request to trade. To dock. So we know, follow the green lines. Let's get over there. These ships are bloody long. So let's get ourselves parked up. Oh, we're coming in quite fast. They don't slow down very well, so as you can see, they just crash into stuff. Now, since I've got a docking computer Mark II, I can just get close to the vicinity and it will take over for me. Like such. If you had a version 1, it'd be a little bit harder to do, and if you don't have a docking computer at all, you have to get it perfectly aligned. Okay, so we dock, and we're going to get up our docking interaction menu. To start a trade, it's just as simple as clicking the trade button here. We know we want graphene. We can see it's got a sale offer on here, and it's got a high supply, which means we get 23% off. After you do it for a while and you get yourself known with your faction, you also get a prized investor, which also reduces the price of it by even more. I've got mine down by 12%, so a total of 35% that I have knocked off the price. There are various other things you can do that are more advanced, like getting things that can hack the systems to make it a little bit cheaper for you, doing missions that'll make it cheaper for you, all sorts of other things like that. But let's just talk basics right now. So I'm going to fill up as much as I can possibly carry, which is going to cost me 65,000 credits. We have to wait for the trade to finish. We already know by looking at our filter that we're going to be able to sell it still at the high-tech factory for 130 credits. So we're going to make sure nothing's been selected, right-click, and set guidance to object. Now our trade's complete, we can undock. And now we need to head over and complete our trade by heading over to the station that's going to sell it. So again, we can autopilot if we so wish, or obviously you can manually fly it as well. But we're going to head over to the graphene refinery, from the graphene refinery, and head over to the high-tech factory to sell our wares. Again, all done manually, so if you want to do this, you can do it on a larger scale by buying bigger ships and stuff like that. And you can just chill out and relax and enjoy trading and compete, you know, trying to make the money as best you can by doing trades. All the while, the world goes on by without you. Let's fast forward down to we're docked and ready to sell our wares. Okay, so we have docked, ready to go at the high-tech factory. So to complete our manual trade, all we do is the exact same thing in reverse. Slide the bar over, it'll tell you what the transaction value was and how much of the profits we've made. So it's actually got a low demand, so it wasn't a great amount, and obviously we still haven't sold all of them. So, it wasn't a huge deal for us, this, but we still made 5,000 profit. So we can sell that. And this is the problem with manual trading. It doesn't withhold what you're going to trade. So if someone comes in with 1,000 of them, it'll wipe out the demand and you've got no option. So as a manual trader, how do we now get rid of the graphene that we've still got on board? Well, the exact same thing as before. We still have places that are buying graphene. So all you need to do now is remember how much you bought it for. So you can see there 112 credits. So if we say arguably 105 credits is where we're sat at, you can obviously get an accurate figure by obviously knowing how much you bought for it. So you can say, right, well, anything that's above 105 credits is profit. So now I can go to Woodworm Scrubs and I can go ahead and I can trade that there. You can also right click and it'll tell you exactly how many it's going to buy and what it's going to offer you. We can see here it has got a buy offer of graphene, so we can sell the graphene to them. And obviously you can see it's also selling energy cells, hull parts and sunrise flowers. And you can go ahead and you can do that over and over again until you've obviously got rid of what's on board. And then you've made your profit, and then you can also go around buying different things as well. So if you turn around and go, actually I want to buy something else, or what else is in this area that I might sell, well, you can say, look, they're selling Claytronics but they're not buying it, so is there another sector that is buying Claytronics that's going to make me profit? Well, if we do this here, you can sell, they're selling at 2254 and buying at 1895. There's absolutely no profit margin there whatsoever. You're going to lose money there. So these are the things you can do and you've got to bear in mind. So again, we done dock, fly over to the Woodworm Scrubs that's offering our sale, and do the whole process over again. And you just keep doing that and making your money, which is a nice, relaxing trading scenario to do. So how now do we do it automatically? So there's a few things we can do. If we release ourselves from our ship, so if we get up and bring it back to our commander and let the door open, let me get off so I don't go with it. Here we go. So we release ourselves. Nice smiling face. So I'm going to get myself off the platform because it'll lock me into the platform as well. So I need to get all the way off. Well, the exit's over here. So now you want to get more ships to do things automatically. So you may have your own idea on trading and stuff. You might continue doing your own ship but want to bring more ships in and stuff like that. So how do we actually set it to do trading on its own? So the first thing is, of course, what we've just done. But instead of us flying over there, we can now basically say, well, we're going to go over here and we're going to right click and we're going to go trade with, and then I'm going to tell them that I'm going to give you 98 graphene. Again, I get the exact same thing as what I did if I was actually deploying there. You can still see that we're getting a low demand, so we're not getting the best price here. We can go there like that. We'll go, right, so where else is buying? Well, actually, nowhere else is buying in this sector, so we're going to have to go further afield. That's a good profit there. 232, that'll do me. Well, that's actually my station that's buying it, so actually I want to avoid that. Let's go over here and go, right, 229, that's still in profit, so let's go ahead and make a trade there for 229. You can see we can now get rid of the rest of the graphene. Obviously, I'm using this as an example because we already have the graphene on board. We could turn around and go, yep, and I'm going to make 57,000 profit for that because it's got a high demand now. And we can't complete the order. So let's go ahead and confirm that. So that's how you would automatically do it. So it's now on its way. It's set them in motion. So the stations already will say, yep, I will pay that price to receive them resources, and they're locked in. So you're not going to lose that money unless obviously you lose your ship, which means you're going to lose the money. Well, you'll gain your money back if you bought anything, as in like if you hadn't actually physically bought it yet, but you told them you were going to buy it, or you just lose all your shit that's on the ship. So, it's a little bit better and a little bit easier to work with. However, there are various other things we can do automatically rather than manually. So again, we're going to select one of our ships, which is this one here. This ship here is doing what I like to call a local auto trade. I say I like to call it, it is actually called a local auto trade. You can see here that because it's only a 1-star, it's only got an option to a local auto trade, revisit known stations, or repeat orders. Revisit known station is good to update your trades to get accurate trades. And repeat orders is also very good if you know you can do things that's going to earn you good profit, and I'll show you that in a second. But right now it's doing local auto trade. I own a market in energy cells, so I know I can buy energy cells at the cheapest price possible. And it usually means that any station whatsoever that is going to sell it, that's going to buy energy cells, is going to buy at a higher price than what I'm selling at, because I am selling at the lowest possible price. So bought prices are usually going to be higher than that. So you can see here that the local auto trade is set to 18 billion. That's where we're anchored, so it will not go anywhere else other than 18 billion. If I turn my trade thing off, you can see a little bit easier. So it's going to go only in 18 billion. It's not going to leave this sector here, which is the downside of you doing local auto trade. You want to have a look on this here, the filter, see what's going to be the best. So, for example, you know, have you got a station like, for example, the shipyards that are going to need hull parts constantly? Have you got a station selling hull parts? Because you're more than likely going to be able to do a local auto trade in hull parts. You can easily do it by doing exactly what I've shown you there, or you can go into each station here and you can right click and go trade offers, and it will give you all of the trade offers. It'll tell you the pricing details. So it's got a low supply, so it's going to sell it at a higher price rate. Again, high demand, so it's going to give you more money for it. You know, gives you all the information you need. Then you can decide, look, hull parts, high demand for hull parts. So can we find somewhere that's selling hull parts? You just keep going and you're going, you're selling hull parts. Low supply, so you're getting a plus 25%. So it's not going to be the best for doing a repeat order with, but you could turn around and go, well, actually, I'm going to set my local auto trade to do hull parts, because it might actually pick up a little bit of money. As you get through and you gain reputation with the factions and you get your rankings, you'll save money, so most trades will become profitable. So it becomes even easier for you to make money with your local auto trades. So that's one way you can do it. The next thing we can do is we could turn around and go, well, actually, I want to set up something that's permanently done. So I want to go around and go, right, well, actually, I've built a station with energy cells, and I want to provide energy cells to my trading station so I can keep my energy station empty and let the trading station deal with everything. That concept can apply with anything. So if I know a station is constantly producing hull parts and I know a station that's constantly requiring hull parts, I can do the same concept. The way we do that is basically we go to it and we go, right, well, actually, we don't want it to do local auto trade, so let's double check that it's got everything empty. So we want to make sure it's got an empty cargo hold, because anything that we do, it's going to basically... I'm just going to turn it off for a second to just dock and wait. No, just hold position will do now. Hold position, there we go. So I'm going to set it up to basically repeat orders here to show you the setup. So I know a station has a requirement for something, whatever it is you decide to set it to. Make sure it's not doing anything in the process, and again, make sure that it's not got anything in this storage. We're going to ignore this one because, well, basically, I'm going to actually drop it. I'm going to drop everything out, so you just scroll there, drop, and it just drops whatever it is. So I'm going to go, I want you to buy as many energy cells as possible and send them to somewhere else that I know that wants them. Be careful, because this could lose you a little bit of money if something drastic happens, but it shouldn't do. But you confirm the repeat orders and make sure your loop is empty. You then want to know, right, where am I buying? So I want to buy from one station. So I'm going to go to here and go to buy from 18 billion solar power plant. It's going to come up and give me this little trade instruction here. I'm going to say, I want you to buy energy cells. I want to fill up my capacity as best as possible. And the maximum price that I'm going to buy for, I'm going to set it to 12 credits. So that's the maximum price I'm going to pay for them wares. I then want to sell it to a station. sell to. Now you get two options for sell to usually. You get to the main station itself or to its build storage. So if you've got a station that's massive and you need a lot of a resource and you don't want to keep telling it to keep going backwards and forwards, you can do the same concept. It'll keep repeating the order until it no longer requires it. But we're going to sell to the main station itself. You're going to go, I want to sell the energy cells. Now it gives you more options because it's accepting hull parts or refined metal, silicon and tellurium. These are great out because your ship physically can't carry them, but the rest are available just in case you decide to go, actually, if you've got any leftover hull parts, sell them here. But we only have energy cells on board. I'm going to say I don't want to keep any energy cells here. Now, if you want to do multiples, so if you want to go, well, actually, I want to do, I want to get 1,000 energy cells and I want to deliver 100 energy cells to 10 stations so that the demand is still high. The supply is, 100 each time from me, and I keep the profit margin there. You can do it by basically saying, well, keep, so if it's 1,000, keep 900. Then at your next station, you say keep 800, and next station keep 700. And what it will do is basically, whilst it's reaching the price that it can reach, it will try and sell it. Once it reaches the price it can't go beyond, it will then hold whatever's left in it, and then drop again to that margin that you've set. So, for example, if it goes to the station number 1, and the station number 1 goes, I'm going to offer you less than what you're asking, then it will remain on board. Go to the next station, instead of selling 100 energy cells, it will then try and sell 200 energy cells at the price you've set. But in this stage, we don't want to keep it energy. So we're going to say counter to keep 0. Minimum price. So the minimum price that I want to accept, for me, to make a profit, would be 13 credits. We're buying at 12 credits. We're going to sell at 13 credits minimum. That doesn't mean it's going to accept 13 credits. It means it's going to accept whatever it can, up to a minimum of 13 credits. So basically, the station will still offer the best price, and it will take the best price. And then as it creeps up and up and up, down and down and down, it will go, right, nope, 13, stop. So we confirm it. And then that is now set. You don't need to do anything else. You can delete all if you want, or you could do more if you want. But what you will notice is it's just gone orange. If there's any mistakes on it, you will see that it's got a problem. What's the problem? Well, there's no trade routes, no trades found in a allowed sector, and I can guarantee you it's because there'll be nothing in here. Oh, it does, yeah. It has held the resources, so why has it decided to go no? Let's have a double check. Okay, so it looks like it's trying to... Okay, so it wasn't available, so there was no trade available because it looked like it couldn't dock, so it's now attempted to dock again. Oh, I just decided to cancel that, which wasn't smart. So now we need to buy from energy cells, buy up to. Now you'll see, if you've got anything that's already in, now because it's already got some in, you can see that my actual amount that I can buy up to is reduced. So you can see that it's already using the cargo space. So again, when I said make sure it's empty, this is the reason why, because you'll see that you now don't have that as much available in your loop. So just keep that in mind. So the best thing for us will be to wait until the sell order is complete and then add the new buy order on. You can then move up and down here to set the order, but realistically it's going to go sell then buy, sell then buy. So it's not going to make too much of a problem. So that's repeat orders basically in a nutshell. The next one we want to talk about is, I'm going to cancel the repeat orders. I'm going to set it to hold position. You'll see it'll still complete the trade that it's going to complete. Well, the next thing we've got to talk about is advanced auto trade. And for me to show you the better option for that is to hopefully find one that has... I don't think I do have one, unfortunately, so I may have to discuss it. No, I do not. So, once you unlock advanced auto trade, then what that basically does, it allows you to select multiple amounts. So the best way for me to show you is through this here. This is an advanced auto trade. This is done through a station, but this is basically the same concept. You get the default behavior, which would be advanced auto trade, which is the 3-star requirement. You then select the words that you wish to trade with. So you go, right, words number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or words 1, 2, and 3. You can set however many you want to what it can take. Then you tell it its anchor space, which is 18 billion again, and then it'll have a max gate distance to buy and sell from. So through that, it's going to be, so for me, this would mean it could jump 2 gate distances to buy from 18 billion. 2 jump gate distances from 18 billion to sell. So it doesn't mean you can go 2 jump gate distances to Silent Witness and then jump 2 more jump gate distances to somewhere else. It's always from 18 billion. So it uses that as its anchor point for both buying and selling. So that's the advanced auto trade. Again, this is more later down the line, but I want you to know about it now. The final one is expert auto trade. That is the best way you're going to make money because it doesn't tell you what words. You can select all words. It will find the best deal possible that it can make, and it will buy and sell in a much larger range. All words. So you're not restricting yourself to certain words. So that's trading in a nutshell. And for those of you who saw my repeat orders previously, and I had the mistake from last time where I was buying at a ridiculous price and selling at an even lower price, I do apologize, but hopefully that cleared things up. The one main thing to remember when you're buying and selling on a repeat order is that once you set it, it's going to keep doing it until it reaches the thresholds you set. So make sure you double check your thresholds, which is obviously what I didn't do in the previous video, but it's also a good way on gaining reputation because you can dictate what you want it to do over a course of period of time and relatively control the cost that it's going to cost you as well. If you are worried about your ship making profit, you can always double check by looking at the logbook, and it will tell you how much profit it's making every time. You see here, all of these are green, so that means I'm making profit on every trade that this ship is making. So it's not made a loss for me at the moment. If you start seeing red minuses, then that ship is making a loss and you need to do something about it. Don't let your ship hemorrhage resources or funds unless you're trying to build a reputation up specifically with a faction. In that case, you can then risk the cost it's going to cost you to actually build that reputation up. But just bear that in mind. Hopefully that's helped you out a little bit, and I hope it's allowed you to see trading in a different limelight. If you want to be an actual trader, or you want to do this auto trading, or if you want an even better solution, then check out my trading and mining bigger guide, the better idea on trading and mining, in my video that I produced a couple of days ago, which has something to do with stations, which makes it even better than this. If you've got any questions or comments or ideas or anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.